We gaan vanmorgen praten met Erick Zeballos. Hij is Chief Technical Advisor van Food Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. En we gaan met hem praten over de Suriname Agriculture Market Access Project, SAMAP. Good morning, Mr. Erick.
Goedemorgen. Good morning.
Okay, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Happy Easter to you and to all the audience watching us today.
Yes, how you experienced the Easter weekend in Suriname?
I think that was one of the peaceful ones over a long time.
Okay, is your first Easter in Suriname?
It's the second time, but the first in the COVID context, so it made it special this time.
You from the Latin America country, Bolivia.
Yes, I'm from
so
your neighbor.
How you spend the day with your family?
Yes, we were basically just catching up with some work. SAMAP is a very demanding project, but I took the space on Sunday to spend a little bit of time with my family as well. So this is one of those rewarding days. But now we are back on business.
Thank you.
Need to run again.
That's why you're here in Mountain Taki. Recently, SAMAP launched the second call of expression of interest of matching grant facility. We're going to talk about the second, but before we talk about the second, I want to know how the first call, how was the first call?
Well, the first call of proposals that was launched in 2019, and at the early days of 2020, the decisions were communicated to the public, were very successful. We had more than 428 applications that we received for small and large grants. And as a result of those, the projects that were more solid, that had the potential to be supported, were endorsed and approved by the Project Steering Committee of SAMAP, and in total 68 projects were then approved, of which 65 were small grants and 3 were large grants. Those projects cover basically all the country. With the exception of Nikieri, we had projects approved almost in every district. The district of Saramacca was the most active. Farmers there submitted proposals that were very solid, and they got more projects approved there, but that they didn't exclude other regions in the hinterland. For example, in Sipaliwini we had six small projects approved, in the region of Brocopondo, in Para and Maroweine likewise. So we had a fair spread of projects in the first call of proposals.
And all of these projects were successful?
Yes, well, they were successful in the sense that they scored enough points to be considered. The points were, the projects were evaluated by an independent technical evaluation panel, and those projects demonstrated the 3 things that SAMAP basically supports, which is improve the quantity of the production, the quality of production, and the potential for access to markets.
That's why FAO means to held a second call.
That's right. The second call of proposals was also an important step for the project, since in the first call we had strong demand from the agriculture sector, but not everybody had a chance to go through. In the second call, the expectations are building up even more. Those that didn't make it in the first call have the chance to apply in the second call now. Those that waited for the second call are preparing their projects, and those that didn't apply before have also the chance to do it. So the second call is important because it will respond to this very important demand growing up in the agriculture sector.
Yeah. What was the progress and how farmers responding to this second call?
So the second call is full in steam. We've announced the second call of proposals on the 4th of February on 2021.
Yes.
Since then, we were very actively engaged in information sessions. We've organized information sessions for the producers, farmers, agro-processors, organizations, community-based organizations, almost in all the regions, in all the districts of Suriname. Farmers were given very detailed information on the criteria of eligibility, what are the investments that are supported by SAMAP, and how they can apply in this second round. More than 400 applicants participated in our information sessions so far, and the enthusiasm is keep growing and growing.
400. Can FAO support more than 400?
Well,
Or there are limit?
the matching grant facility is a competitive fund. That means that there are some limited resources to be allocated. And because it's a competitive fund, all the projects that will be submitted will compete with each other. And in that competition, of course, the technical merits, the financial potential, and the capacity for implementation will be the criteria that they will be assessed upon. So whether we will have many projects or less projects approved will depend on the quality of the projects. The target, however, of the matching grant facility for the 4 years of the SAMAP project is 200 small grants and 10 to 12 large grants. So at the moment, in the first call, we've already approved 65 small grants. Therefore, in the second call, we have about 140 projects to be supported. And for the large grants, since we approved 3 projects already, now we have space for another 10 to 12 projects, large grants too.
Okay. What are the criteria for this second call?
Well, the criteria is almost the same like in the first call. There is only one fundamental difference in the second call, which is the possibility for large grants to apply in a partnership between agro-businesses and farmers.
Okay.
And the big difference is that in the previous call, this partnership required that the farmers are necessarily organized as cooperatives, as associations of farmers. But we've learned in the first call that Suriname is still in the process to consolidate cooperation. Farmers are very individual. Everyone wants to work by themselves.
Yes.
And the purpose of our project is to help to promote coordination and cooperation. Because of that reason, the adjustment that we introduce now allows farmers, organized or not, to come in partnership with agro-businesses and apply for a grant. That's a big significant difference, and that's where in the second call we've made a few adjustments.
And are the farmers open for this opportunity?
Yes, we heard
For working together?
We heard all over the places where we work. SAMAP has a motto, a slogan that we've developed is Samenwerken in Dutch,
Yeah.
which is working together.
Yeah.
They are aware that you can make an impact and you have a chance to export into international markets only as long as you work together with all the players, all the stakeholders in the value chain, from the production in the field to processing and the transformation, value added of a product and access to markets. So if you bring all these players together, your chances are bigger. And that is what farmers are realizing more and more. And SAMAP brings the opportunity now to consolidate those efforts.
Can rice farmers apply also for this call?
There are a few exceptions in the context of the SAMAP project. From the early design of the project, this is an initiative funded by the European Union, as you know, and the donor in the past, the EU, has supported strongly other sectors like bananas and rice. And because of those reasons, these two in particular crops are excluded from the priorities of the SAMAP project.
Yeah.
There are 4 priority value chains, priority subsectors that are supported in the context of SAMAP. One is the sector of fruits, vegetables, roots and tubers, things like cassava, ginger, taro, and what we call non-timber forest products, Those are all those rich products that grow in the forest in Suriname, like Brazilian nuts or other aguara, or other products from which Surinamese are very good at producing oils, for example, and so on. So those are the four.
Orange.
Orange is a fruit, and is a fruit with potential. So citrus, actually, all citrus fall into the category of.
For example, cassava farmer can work with farmer who is farming ananas.
Yes, well, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Usually you will see cooperation and collaboration between farmers that have complementarities.
Yeah.
And their crops complement to each other. You don't grow only one crop in one field. Farmers are smart and they diversify, and they have more than one product. So we encourage those initiatives in which there are potential for mixed cropping, fruits and vegetables. We heard interesting ideas in that regard. All is about one important thing. If your product is good, it's already a plus.
Okay.
But the second important thing is, if the quality of your product is good, then your chances to sell that is even better. But ultimately, if there is no market, if there are no buyers in the market for your product, even if your product is the best, then your chances are limited. That is what SAMAP is about, supporting access to markets, working
export.
on these three categories. Not only exports, but also domestic markets, an important emerging local market. The pandemic of COVID demonstrated that people had made better efforts to produce locally, and you saw in the streets people selling more fruits and vegetables as well. So there is an opportunity to diversify the local economy, and that is also an important market.
Okay, when I want to stay by the cooperation of the farmers, if I say a cassava farmer working together with the ananas farmer, so both can apply for the grant. They gonna get the grant separated of each farmer get his own grant. I heard about $5,000.
Yes, there are.
Both gonna get $10,000.
Not necessarily. Let me explain.
Okay.
There are two windows of funding under the matching grant facility. Small grants with a limit up to $5,000. There is also a contribution of the farmers. In the case of the small grants, that contribution is up to 30% of the 5,000.
Okay,
that
30.
is about 30. Okay. That's about $1,500, right? And they have to contribute. Their own contribution can be not necessarily in cash. It could be in kind, in nature, as you said in Dutch.
Land.
Yes, you can choose. Either you put cash or you put your own contribution, like your labor, the value of some equipment, or things that you are putting yourself in the production. For the large grants, the value is bigger. It's up to $300,000, but also the contribution is higher, up to 50%, from which 10% are mandatory in cash. So people need to put in cash, and the 40% remaining in kind or in nature. Now, if a group of farmers, like you were saying, farmers that produce cassava and or ananas, pineapples, they want to come together, right?
It's the right word.
Yes.
Yeah, in English.
If they want to come together in applying for a grant, they can do that under two modalities. If they want to apply for a large grant, then they can have a partnership. They can have a joint venture. And for that, the condition is that the farmer association, the group of farmers, need to have at least 10 farmers active, right? If you want to apply individually, right, then let's say you want to apply only for cassava. You can apply for that for a small grant. then the small grant will give you up to 5,000 US dollars. Now, if you are a farmer of cassava and you are a farmer of pineapple, the two of them come together and want to apply together, but each for one individual small grant, each 5,000, and you say both make 10,000. That is not possible, because what we are trying to do here is that the stakeholders, the farmers, develop joint projects. So it's not to promote individualism, but to promote collaboration. And in that case, they can apply together. Instead of a small grant, they can go for 10,000, but as a large grant. The conditions change, but yet the opportunities are there to work together, but in the context of a larger initiative. When we say large grants up to $300,000, it doesn't mean that you have to apply for $300,000. It could be any value from 5,000 up to 300,000.
Okay, that's it's nice to hear. But the assistant of the applicants to prepare for the application, SAMAP are helping the farmers, because enough of the farmers don't quite understand English, and I heard everything is in English. So how that works?
Well, absolutely. Support to applicants is a critical effort that we are doing in SAMAP. I just want to make clear that because I am not very good at Dutch or Sarnantongo doesn't mean that my team doesn't speak the local languages.
Yes.
They are all from Suriname, and all our information and communication to farmers, producers is in Dutch and in Sarnantongo, and even in some regions where we do not speak the language of those, we have support from other institutions to speak in Saramacan, Aukans, and other languages. So all the information we make available is in those languages. Your question is very important. Many people feel that to apply for a grant is very difficult or very complex because the forms they are not very familiar with, or they are not used to many questions. But the forms that we've developed are made specifically to help farmers to develop their own thinking and to develop their own projects. SAMAP is a capacity building project. The main goal is to build the capacities in Suriname so they can strive alone and be sustainable. So in this context, we are helping through the forms of the projects farmers to be familiar on how to write their own projects. What is the objective? What I want to achieve? What do I need in terms of resources? How the equipment that SAMAP provides will help to do that. So to do that, we organized workshops all across the region. On 27th of March, we started here in Paramaribo, and every individual that has limitations to understand the questions, that has questions on specific points of the form, or want to expand more information, can come to our workshops. They will be attended or supported by a technical member of our team individually. We provide up to 1 hour support to each individual, going through all the detailed questions, and then farmers have the opportunity to come back home, rethink their ideas, and come back to us again if they need further support, because we will do another set of workshops to help them. We, as we speak, are at the moment, my team is in Nikieri, tomorrow is in Coroni, we've already did Paramaribo, Saramaca, Comehuayne, and in this week we will complete with Procopondo, Para, and Sipaliwini. All are workshops to help farmers to develop their projects and their proposals. So if anyone is looking at us over there, please call us, contact us, register to these information and workshop sessions, because you will get support from SAMAP.
How many farmers you expect to join the second call?
As I mentioned earlier, the expectations are growing and growing very much. Because of the first call, Many farmers that applied were not very successful into it, so we expect a large demand. At least the same level that we had in the first call, so about 400, 500 farmers, and it's possible that we will double that number.
1,000.
It could get up to that level. It will be very busy for us, but we are happy if we have that level of support and enthusiasm in the community. The important message for all of them is, in the first call, many apply for a grant without putting too much effort in their projects. They thought, just fill in the form and I will receive a grant.
Yeah.
But this time they are learning that actually we are inviting them to think more specifically on what they want to do and how they want to do it. And because of that, it requires a little bit of time to put your ideas together. We gave them enough time. The close of the call is at the end of April. There's still time from now on. They can be supported by SAMAP. We are facilitating, we are assisting. We don't write projects for them.
Okay.
They are the owners of their projects. It's their own ideas. They are the experts. We are not the experts. And in that process, we hope that in this second call, we will have also a very solid demand of projects and hopefully better quality of proposals, and this time more likely we will already complete our targets and approve all the targets of the matching grant facility.
Yes. What are the direct benefits for the agriculture sector in Suriname?
Well, the agriculture sector in Suriname is an emerging sector.
Yeah.
And when you are in an economy as an emerging sector, there are the three basic things that I mentioned earlier that are essential. If you don't produce in enough quantity, right, then you cannot supply the demand of your product.
Yeah.
The second important thing is quality, products that will not harm the health of individuals, that meet the standards, local and international. And the third important element is to be able to sell your products in the domestic and external market. Those are the three goals of SAMAP. That is how SAMAP will support the agriculture sector. In these four prioritized value chains, we expect that at the end of the project, we will see increased production of fruits and vegetables in the country, increased access markets for products from Suriname to local and international markets.
Yes. We're going to close, Mr. Erick, but my last question is, I have heard that the Coroni farmers cannot qualify because of in-state issues. Is that true?
I think that is not correct. That's a misinterpretation and is not true. The SAMAP project has made a big effort to try to understand the reality of Suriname. I understand that the issues of land tenure, property of land, are not only common to Coroni. It's an issue for all the country.
Yeah.
And because of that reason, we provided alternatives for farmers to provide some proof that they are farmers. For example, not everyone owns the land.
Yeah.
And if you don't own the land, would you be excluded from SAMAP? No. You have the opportunity to rent land. And if you rent land, you have a document that says, I'm renting this document. You can present that as proof of land. You sometimes have family members, your grandfather, your grandmother, or parents that are giving you the right to work in your land. That's also an acceptable condition for SAMAP. So you don't need to be the owner. You bring the document of your parents saying, yes, I am authorizing my son or daughter to do that. And in communities where this is not possible, we work with the local authorities, the captains, the badges, the gramans. They certify that a person belongs to that community and that person is a farmer in that community. And that statement is also acceptable for SAMAP. In Coroni, all of those options are available. Even you can go to the LVV resort office and ask for a certificate to confirm that you are from Coroni and you work the land in Coroni there if you don't have any paper. And that is also acceptable. So all of those modalities are available for Coronians, for Nicarians, for Saramacans, for Marowenes, from whoever in Suriname, and those are acceptable in SAMAP. The important thing there is that the applicants just need to make a little bit of an effort to get these documents to be submitted together with their applications on time.
Yeah, I give you now the opportunity to make a close remark to the farmers. You can look in the camera and talk to the farmers.
Well, thank you very much, and Grantani, to everyone for listening this morning. I just want to invite everyone to participate actively in our workshops where we are supporting farmers to develop their proposals, to develop your projects. As I said, we are not going to do that for you, but we will help in understanding the forms that we have put there for farmers to develop their projects. We will be actively engaging in all the districts if COVID does not affect our abilities, but we will be until the 24th of April in all the districts, again, trying to help and support as much as possible your efforts. This is an opportunity, but this is also a joint venture, a partnership between the people of Suriname and the institutions that are supporting this project. I believe that together we can make it work for the good of Suriname, and we are very hopeful about that. So we look forward to seeing you in our workshops in any district. Call us, contact us, and we'll be there for you.
Thank you for your explanation, Mr. Erick Zeballos, and success with this second call.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes.